evening. I'm Regina Lay.
And I'm Pauline Verzosa.
The big stories we're following tonight. Two DPWH engineers under the notorious Bulacan 1st District Office link Senators Joel Villanueva and Jinggoy Estrada to the anomalous flood control contracts.
And another big name that was tagged today was former Public Works Secretary Manny Bonoan, whom Senate President Pro Tempore Ping Lacson accused of being part of a family business that secured billions in flood control projects too.
And the realignments at the Senate continue with the chairmanships of the Blue Ribbon, Health, Defense, and a number of other committees getting taken away from the so-called Duterte bloc.
Si Senator Jinggoy po ay nagbaba ng 355 million e naglabas ng 600 million si Senator Joel Villanueva.
I challenge him right now to take a lie detector test with me. Let us settle this once and for all.
Wala po ako kailanman naging flood control project.
Well, some senators were not marked safe in the investigation on anomalous flood control projects after all. On today's House hearing, two engineers from DPWH Bulacan named Senators Jinggoy Estrada and Joel Villanueva as among those taking kickbacks from these projects.
As proof, the engineers showed photos of wads of cash and text screenshots. The two lawmakers vehemently deny the allegations, with Estrada insisting on a lie detector test. Mobile journalist Arles de los Santos with tonight's big story.
Your Honor, wala po.
Sigurado ka. Safe ka na.
Sigurado po.
I resent that statement, Mr. Chair. I resent that statement.
Safe ka na.
This moment from yesterday's Senate Blue Ribbon Committee hearing has since gone viral. It was after Contractor Pacifico Curly Discayas was asked whether any senators were involved in any anomalous flood control projects. But at today's House Infrastructure Committee hearing, DPWH Bulacan's former Assistant District Engineer implicated not just one, but two senators, plus a couple more DPWH officials into the mess.
Si Senator Jinggoy Estrada, Senator Joel Villanueva, Yusek Robert Bernardo, at D. Alcantara. Si Senator Jinggoy po ay nagbaba ng 355 million ngayong 2025 sa mga ilang projects sa Bulacan. Noong 2023 naman, ay naglabas ng 600 million si Senator Joel Villanueva.
According to Hernandez, his boss, disgraced DPWH District Engineer Henry Alcantara told him their commitment was 30% of the contract prices to the aforementioned senators. To prove this, Hernandez showed photos of wads of cash they allegedly prepared for the lawmakers.
Sa tambayan po namin yan eh. So yan po dyan po pine-prepare yung mga pera for delivery with regard sa mga proponent na kausap ni Boss Henry Alcantara.
He even showed selfies of Estrada with Alcantara, allegedly taken during a senator's birthday at the hotel.
Engineer Henry Alcantara and Senator Jinggoy Estrada have met a couple of times. Yan po, sabi po nila hindi po sila magkakilala. Baka naman po fan lang siya. And they appear super close, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Please proceed. Next picture, please.
As for Villanueva, fellow DPWH Bulacan engineer JP Mendoza showed screenshots of Viber exchanges, allegedly with Villanueva. He said these messages were set to disappear after being read. In this, Villanueva allegedly asked for additional multi-purpose buildings. Mendoza claimed he had been told by Alcantara to take a photo of the conversation.
May atraso DPWH sa akin, so if he treats me na isa lang issue, he's not respecting me. Sa summary po na yan, na sinasabi ni Senator Joel na mababa lang yung kanyang pondo, subalit siya ang majority floor, isa siyang majority floor leader siya noong that time and member siya ng Commission on Appointment.
But Alcantara denied all the accusations, saying he had no personal connections to either of the two senators. As for the photos of the money, Alcantara insisted they weren't bribes or kickbacks.
Your Honor, yung pera po na yun, nasa bahay na po yun, I think po, yan po ay pera ng contractor po na nakolekta, nagamit ang ibang lisensya, doon lang po dinala, at nagkatuwaan po na picturean po yan.
Asked for his side, Estrada sent a message to reporters categorically denying all these allegations. Later on, he held a press conference at the Senate angrily lashing out at Hernandez.
Galit talaga ako. Talaga napamura ako. Napakasinungaling nitong taon to. Because first of all, hindi ko siya kilala.
May picture kayo ni DPWH engineer Alcantara, sir. Do you remember that, sir, when it was taken?
I do not know. I cannot recall that event. Pero sa dami naman nagpapapicture sa akin, hindi ko naman pwede tanggihan. Eh kung drug lord yan, gambling lord, malay ko naman kung drug lord yan o gambling lord, hindi ko naman matatanggihan kung sino nagpapapicture sa akin. Remember, we are all public figures here.
Estrada also insisted he never endorsed the funding of 355 million pesos to fund projects in Bulacan. He said these are among the line items in the 2025 budget for which anyone could be accused of inserting. Estrada also vowed to press charges against the engineer.
Hindi ko palalagpasin na hindi sagutin ng mga malisyoso, tahasang kasinungalingan at walang basehang mga akusasyon sa akin ni Bryce Hernandez. I challenge him right now to take a lie detector test with me. Let us settle this once and for all and show the public who is telling the truth.
I will ensure that Mr. Hernandez is held accountable for perjury.
Villanueva, for his part, thinks he is being implicated because he has with him affidavits of some DPWH engineers that are supposed to be brought to the committee hearing. He believes a certain Dracula is behind the anomaly.
Pero klarong-klaro po sinong mastermind, Mr. President. Klarong-klaro po kung nasaan na si Dracula, kung bakit bumaba ang kanyang dugo kasi hindi na ho malaman kung saan tatago yung bilyon-bilyon o trilyon-trilyon sa lapi. Hindi na alam kung saan, kaya bumaba po yung dugo. At mismo si Dracula sinasabi, hindi naman niya gagawin ito kung walang basbas ng amo niya. Sino ba ang amo niya, Mr. President? Sino ba ang naglagay sa kanya bilang tagapagbantay ng national budget?
Villanueva insisted he is not hiding anything and said he's ready to face any investigation.
Wala po ako kailanman naging flood control project. Hindi ko po sasabihin na I categorically deny this accusation. Dahil po may resibo po tayo. Meron po pwedeng i-verifika kung bakit ito nangyayari.
The engineers, Hernandez and Mendoza, have both appealed to the House of Representatives to grant them protection. However, Hernandez is currently held in contempt by the Senate after he repeatedly denied owning a fake driver's license that he allegedly used to enter casinos. In response, Senate President Vico Sotto agreed to transfer Hernandez to the PNP Custodial Center in Camp Crame, but with the Senate Sergeant-at-Arms as security. Mobile Journal Arles de los Santos, we are One News.
Now over at the Senate, Senate President Pro Tempore Panfilo Lacson dropped some bombshells of his own. In a privileged speech this afternoon, he exposed former DPWH Secretary Manuel Bonoan's alleged business ties with Candaba, Pampanga Mayor Rene Maglanque. Maglanque was the former president of construction company Global Crete Builders. The company allegedly secured 2.195 billion pesos worth of flood control projects from 2018 to 2024 in Bulacan alone. Maglanque is also the owner of MBB Global Properties Corporation. In Lacson's presentation, he showed that among the listed officers of MBB are none other than the children of the DPWH officials. Macy Monique Maglanque, the daughter of Mayor Maglanque, served as president. Retired DPWH Undersecretary Roberto Bernardo's daughter, Sunshine Bernardo, served as corporate secretary, while former Secretary Manny Bonoan's daughter, Fatima Gay Bonoan de la Cruz, served as treasurer. Lacson called it a growing family business. Bernardo has been tagged by the Discayas couple as among those allegedly involved in the flood control mess. He is also known as a protege of former President Joseph Estrada. Lacson added that MBB stands for Maglanque, Bernardo, and Bonoan. All three have yet to respond to Lacson's expose.
Kaya naman pala ang palaging depensa ni dating DPWH Secretary Bonoan, isolated case lang daw. Ayaw na siguro ni Bonoan na maungkat pa sa investigasyon ang Global Crete.
Now, apart from Bonoan's alleged family business, Lacson also exposed the lavish lifestyles of 4 DPWH engineers, which he collectively called BGC Boys or Bulacan Group of Contractors. These include Henry Alcantara, Bryce Hernandez, JP Mendoza, and RJ Dumalig, who according to Lacson use aliases and fake IDs to play in casinos. Worse, according to PAGCOR records obtained by Lacson, the group collectively incurred over 950 million pesos in gambling losses. Hernandez alone allegedly lost over 435 million pesos in total. He apparently even hit the casino on September 1, right while the Blue Ribbon was conducting its hearings on the scandal. Lacson bear the massive casino transactions of the BGC boys from 2023 to 2025, moving billions in a cash-to-chips and back-to-cash scheme. He suggested there may be money laundering involved. The names of the DPWH officials have been submitted to the Anti-Money Laundering Council for proper action.
Habang lubog pa rin sa tubig baha ang mga taga Bulacan dahil sa mga pangungurakot na mga ito, at kahit booking na mismo ng Pangulo ang kalokohan, sige pa rin ang pagpapasasa ng BGC Boys sa pagwawaldas ng pera ng taong bayan. Walang kahiya-hiya sa katawan. Wala pong konsyensya ang mga ito, Mr. President.
President Bongbong Marcos said he will name within 48 hours the people who will make up his independent commission. He said this earlier today while on a state visit to Cambodia, and this is the body that he's forming to conduct an independent third-party investigation of the flood control project anomalies. Marcos says there will be no politicians in the commission to ensure its independence, and he also wants it to have subpoena powers. The president is still contemplating if the commission should also be given contempt power, but at the very least, it can give recommendations to the DOJ and the ombudsman on who should be charged over the budget and flood control mess. All right, let's talk a little bit more about this. Tonight, we're speaking with DPWH Secretary Vince Dizon. Good evening, Secretary. Welcome back to the Big Story. I know it's been very, very busy for you lately.
Good evening, Regina. Good evening, Pauline.
Sec, I understand you came from Oriental Mindoro today. You did an inspection. I also know at this point that you discovered that there were ghost projects there. Talk us through that.
Yes. Yes, I visited Governor Bons Dolor in Oriental Mindoro today. Because he obviously has been very vocal about these projects over the couple of weeks, including his appearance at the Senate Blue Ribbon hearing yesterday. So what I saw was really shocking. I cannot even begin to describe the gravity of what went on there over the last several years. And what I saw was a very, very substandard project that was not coordinated and planned with the local government unit or the province. What I also did not see, were three supposed projects in 2024, totaling roughly about 750 million pesos that we could not find. They were supposed to be part of the flood control program for a river in the municipality of Nauhan, Oriental Mindoro, but we could not find them. And the governor and the barangay captain were there, and I asked them, and they said they couldn't find them as well. So clearly, these projects were bastardized by these people, and we will have to hold them to account. Everybody involved in these projects, especially those that are ghost projects, will have to be held to account. They will be dismissed from DPWH, and we will be filing cases against them so that they pay for these crimes.
Sec, actually, a couple of weeks ago, we spoke to then Secretary Bonoan about it already kasi yung road dike project along Mag-asawang Tubig River sa Sitio Dique, Barangay Apitong, right? That's one of the ghost projects you're talking about. Is something that Senator Panfilo Lacson has already exposed in his first privileged speech. So after that, we spoke to Sec Bonoan, and on air, and this is on record, Sec Bonoan told us, baka miscommunication lang. There is no ghost project there. Baka nagkamali lang sa location. There is a project in Barangay Apitong, not Barangay Dique. So I guess the question there for you is, you're absolutely sure you went to the right places?
Well, the governor was the one who brought me there, and the barangay captain of that barangay was there. So I think I was in the right place because I was with the locals there. So I did not see a project there.
Okay. So again,
in that area, in that barangay, in that sitio. So, but we will investigate this. Imbestigahan natin to. Hanapin ko mga records. Hanapin ko kung totoo ba talagang merong na bid na project, kung meron bang na-award na project, kung meron bang nabayaran na project. At kung meron, hanapin ko yung project na yan. Pero kanina, wala akong nakitang project doon.
Oh. So that's the same as what Senator Lacson already said, that he sent his staff pero wala din nakita. So,
and I was there. And I was there on the ground with the governor, with the barangay captain, with the people of that barangay and that sitio. And pare-pareho kami. Siguro siguro mga 20 people kami doon. Lahat kami. Walang nakitang proyekto. Tinanong ko sila lahat. Baka naman ako lang yung walang nakikita doon. Pero lahat kami, walang nakitang proyekto doon.
Secretary, you did say that these projects were bastardized by these people. I wanted to ask, are these people also operating like a syndicate, just like the BGC boys that Senator Lacson exposed today? Ganun din ba yung sistema nila dyan sa Region 4B, Oriental Mindoro?
Well, clearly ganun din. Clearly ganun din. Yun din ang sistema. Pare-pareho eh. Dinescribe nga ni Governor Dulor, ganun din eh. Pare-pareho yung sistema dito. So we have to get to the bottom of this, and like what the President said, kung sino ang kailangang managot, dapat managot dito. And we're very happy that the President already announced that in 48 hours, the Independent Commission will be formed. And we are looking forward to working with the Independent Commission to really hold these people to account. Because this is the people's money, and they all need to be punished for whatever they did here.
Would you go so far as to say that the district engineering office there is also problematic? What's your sense?
It's not just the district engineer, it's the region. It's the region that implemented this. It's the regional office that implemented this. So everybody, top to bottom, they need to be accountable for this.
Have you spoken to them already, Secretary? Who is the regional director for Oriental Mindoro?
Yeah, yung regional director ngayon doon, bago lang. I think a few weeks pa lang siya. Kasi yung regional director na nag-implement nito ay tinanggal. No? Pero naka-floating siya somewhere in DPWH. So pinapahanap ko na siya.
Bakit siya tinanggal, Secretary?
Pinapahanap ko na siya ngayon. Pinapahanap ko na rin yung mga project engineer nito. Kasi lahat ng nakausap ko kanina doon, mga bago lang. They've just been there. They were just assigned there a few weeks ago. So they know nothing about this.
Secretary, I also wanted to get your reaction. Today, Senator Ping Lacson exposed that insertions happen as early as when the NEP is crafted. He did show a text message of former Undersecretary Cabral. Parang naglalako ng mga projects sa mga lawmakers. She offers this menu of projects. What's your reaction to that, and what reforms are you already thinking of now that we are in the budget season?
Well, first of all, I'll just go back to what the President instructed me on day one. Clean up DPWH from top to bottom. That's what we're going to do. No, I mean, it doesn't matter if you're an undersecretary, assistant secretary, director, regional director, district engineer. If we see that you have done something wrong, sorry, you're going to be dismissed, and eventually cases are going to be filed against you. It's that simple.
The thing with Yusek Cabral, though, is I understand you've spoken to her as well about this, right?
Yes.
Tapos you said that she said to your face, yes, she denied it to your face that she had any involvement in these, except today nga, as Pauline was saying in Senator Lacson's privileged speech, the first thing he said was Yusek Cabral was lying through her teeth. So
Well, I saw the hearings today, so I will have to talk to Undersecretary Cabral about this. I was talking to her on the phone earlier, but I was still in Mindoro, so I will have to have a serious conversation with her. And like I said, no, I mean there will be no sacred cows here. In the next few days, we're going to file cases again against other DPWH employees, officials, and other contractors. So that's going to be on Thursday at the Ombudsman. So we are going to go through this one by one, project by project. And everyone who is involved in what we see as anomalous, we will file cases against them and they will be dismissed. It's as simple as that. That's what the President said. The time to talk is done. Now it's all about quick and swift action.
Well, taking a step back, you said a few days ago 100% of the USECs down to the RDs have submitted their resignation. So on the other side of it, are you finding enough people to fill these positions? And Ilan, how much of that have you taken back? How much of those resignations did you reject?
Wala pa. Kasi nga, you're absolutely right. The challenge now is to find people to replace them. Right now, I'm all alone here in DPWH, nabago. No? So we need to bring in new people. We need to look for the right people. That's also why I met with former DPWH secretaries Ping Jesus and Babe Singson, because the first thing I asked them is, can you please let me know who I can trust here and who are good people here, because I'm absolutely certain that the vast majority of the people in DPWH are good people. They're honest people. They're hardworking people, but I don't know who they are. So I have to find them. And we have to remove the bad eggs and replace them with the good eggs.
What's your timeline for that, Sec? I mean...
Well, sorry, I can't give you a timeline for that right now. And I'll try to go as fast as we can. But, this is an organization with thousands of people in it, with 20,000 projects implemented all simultaneously. So, this is something that I have never encountered before. So we will just have to go through it as we go along. But I think the most important here, the most important thing here is what the President said. Kailangang managot ang dapat managot. And I think that is a good start, because it will tell everybody in DPWH and it will tell the entire country that the President is serious about this. We're not playing around here. This is not a joke. When I say we're going to dismiss people and we're going to file cases against people, I mean it. And we're going to do it. We did it yesterday. We're going to do it again on Thursday. And we're going to do it again next week and the week after that. And the week after that.
Absolutely. You talked about consulting with former secretaries Babe Singson and Ping Jesus. And I'm sorry to put you on the spot, Secretary, but there is an outstanding question here as to why you did not consult DPWH former Secretary Mark Villar.
I will consult it. I think it's important to talk to everyone who has sat in this chair in the past. It's very important, especially since I worked personally with Senator Villar in the previous administration. I need to understand the challenges that this institution is facing. So I need input from everybody.
So you are planning to reach out to him and sit down? Okay. Coming back to the 2026 NEP, and I'm sorry to watch you struggle so much during the House hearing on it, no? Because understandably, that was what, day 5 for you or day 4, so you wouldn't know a lot of the items on it. How are you going with cleaning that up? I know you asked for a week to try to make heads or tails of the budget. How's that going?
Well, first of all, today I requested for a couple of more days, just 2 more days, to be able to submit something to Congress. We were ordered by Congress to submit by Friday. I requested for 2 more days to submit by Monday, the 15th of September. So we're working on it 24/7 right now. So we have people both from outside of the institution and also from within, and we will have to meet that deadline. It's a deadline, and we have to meet it.
So the deadline as it stands is September 15, which is...
Yes, I requested for that. It was originally on Friday the 12th, but
correct.
I requested for a few days, at least just the weekend, this coming weekend, to submit on the 15th.
Okay.
Well, Secretary did mention that criminal and administrative charges should be filed against those involved in all these anomalous projects. But at the same time, Secretary, these anomalies go way back. It's impossible that they did not, right?
Yeah.
So are you keen on going after those involved even years back?
I think this is where the wisdom of our president is seen by our people when he said that the only way to really address this very clearly and very decisively is through an independent commission. I think that is the only way. I don't think DPWH has the capability to do that. I think the wisdom of the president in forming an independent commission is very, very welcome, and it is the right thing to do. And I'm very, very pleased that our president, upon his arrival, announced that he will be announcing the independent commission together with its members within the next 48 hours, because this is really something that should be done, and we will leave it up to the commission to do that, and we will cooperate with the commission in every way possible.
And Secretary, you did mention you already had talks with former DPWH secretaries, Babe Singson, Ping De Jesus. What were those conversations like? And right now, could you give us any ideas on the reforms you're already thinking? I know you already mentioned bringing down cost estimates para wala nang room for markups. But what else are you eyeing, Secretary, as early as now?
Yes, so we're going to be looking at a lot of aspects of the system and the processes and structure of DPWH. Bringing down the cost estimates, that's a huge issue. Now, because we want to make sure that the projects are not overpriced. And second, we have to look at the bidding process. So I got some ideas from our former DPWH secretaries. I've consulted with people that they recommended to me to talk to who are right now in international agencies like the ADB and the World Bank. So I can't give you details right now, but we will be coming up with these structural changes in the next few weeks. I think slowly but surely we can try to fix this clearly very, very broken system that is present right now in DPWH.
Yeah. Again, like today in the Senator Lacson privileged speech, he talked about how there was a contractor, I believe it was Sims Construction, who within 2 days of getting a notice to proceed, filed a report saying they're about 46% completed. I mean, the project was 46% completed, so which means they were able to start billing the government. Now, that was billing cycle number 1. And then within under 3 months or 2 months, 86% completed na daw yung project. So again, they were able to bill the government, right? So there seems to be a loophole there.
Well, clearly, because that's the fastest contractor I've ever seen. No, the problem is the president visited that site, and the president did not see anything in that site. So, and that contractor was paid in full. That's why yesterday we already filed a case with the Ombudsman against Sims and against all these officials and personnel of DPWH who were involved in this. Alcantara, Mendoza, Hernandez, and then another guy, this engineer, Paul Duya. So we filed the case yesterday, and we will be filing more of these cases as we find more of these projects like the ones that Senator Lacson has exposed in his 2 privilege speeches.
What charge did you file, Secretary?
Marami, no?
Okay. So
Anti-graft, malversation, falsification, NATO, no? And then we will be filing more on Thursday.
Okay. Gross neglect of duty, I suppose, as well. Any reforms that you can think of in terms of limiting the power of district engineers? That's one of the other things.
Yes, we're also considering that. I can't go into details right now, but we will be looking at the powers and authorities of the districts, of the regions, as we really do a sweeping cleansing of this institution. It's not going to be easy. It's going to take a lot of time, a lot of effort, but we have to start somewhere.
Secretary, is it fair to also do lifestyle checks among the employees of DPWH? Congressman Diokno even suggested asking employees to sign waivers of bank secrecy to prove that,
Yeah, so, I mean, as far as lifestyle checks are concerned, just in the past week, I've already received dozens of Facebook screenshots, Instagram screenshots from ordinary citizens, and we welcome this. And I want to make a call to our citizens to keep on sending these, because this helps us a lot. Now, I've received already so many, and as we receive them, we will be looking into them if they are true or not. And if they are true, well, this is again basis for possible filing of cases against these individuals. And obviously, I mean, if we have enough evidence, then they have to be dismissed immediately. And cases will be filed against these people.
These are what? Photos of engineers?
Of people, yes, of DPWH employees, district engineers, assistant district engineers, all over the country who are wearing expensive watches, who are flaunting their sports cars, flaunting their houses. Wow. Some I've seen chartering private jets. So, I mean, this is all really, this is something that is so scandalous to the bone that I can't even begin to describe how bad this is. These are people who are making, 50,000 pesos, 100,000 pesos a month, and they can afford these things. So, I mean, these are glaring examples, no? That I think don't even require a lot of investigation anymore, But of course, there are processes, but we will act on them swiftly.
Yeah.
And like I said, whatever happened to Alcantara, Hernandez, Mendoza, and all these others, the same thing is going to happen to these people. That is what the president wants us to do.
Wow, chartering private jets, huh? That's
yeah.
We don't even have words to describe that. That's pretty bold. But just very quickly on a last note, so does all of this give you a sense that the problem is bigger than Bulacan, bigger than Oriental Mindoro, bigger than Pampanga? Okay.
This is decades. This is not a few years. This is decades old, and this is nationwide. This is not just Bulacan. I was in Mindoro today. Same thing. I just got a report about Eastern Samar the other day. Same thing. So we just have to go through these one by one. And everybody who is involved needs to pay for their involvement.
Okay. We'll leave that there for now and let you get some rest. But thank you so much for talking to us tonight.
Thank you very much.
DPWH Secretary Vince Dizon. We're going to pause for a very quick break, but coming right up. The upper chamber is updating its chairmanships, giving out powerful committees as expected to the new majority that elected Vico Sotto as the new Senate president. That and more when we return. Stay with us.
Welcome back. You're still watching The Big Story here on One News. The new Senate composition under Senate President Vico Sotto has elected new leaders for the various committees. First up, Senate President pro tempore Ping Lacson will also take the helm of the powerful Blue Ribbon Committee. Risa Ontiveros will take over Health and Demography from Bongo. She will also keep her original committee, which is Women, Children, and Family Relations. Meanwhile, Loren Legarda will have three committees: Higher Education, National Defense and Security, as well as Accounts. The defense portfolio used to be with Jinggoy Estrada, while Alan Peter Cayetano used to head up Accounts. Rafi Tulfo will chair Labor, Employment, and Human Resources. JV Ejercito will take over Public Order and Dangerous Drugs from Bato de la Rosa. And as mentioned, Ping Lacson is Senate President pro tempore. This afternoon, the chamber also elected JV Ejercito and Risa Ontiveros as Deputy Majority Leaders. The minority bloc, to which former SP Cheese Escudero now belongs to, elected Alan Peter Cayetano as Minority Leader. Deputy Minority Leaders are Joel Villanueva and Rodante Marcoleta. In an interview in our sister program with Ted Filon and DJ Chacha, Sotto said there were senators who were dissatisfied with how the Blue Ribbon Committee hearings were going, so that was the first committee they discussed replacing.
Merong mga dissatisfied sa aming mga kasama, narinig ko, doon sa pamamaraan o sa nangyayari sa Blue Ribbon. Kaya yun ang una sa mga napag-usapan na pinakamaganda, maglagay tayo talaga ng investigador na neutral. Yun ang usual, karaniwan na nababanggit. As a matter of fact, nang pinag-uusapan namin yung Blue Ribbon Chairmanship, kung ito'y gagalawin natin, ang mga ulang pinag-usapan doon na pinag-isipan, si Pia Cayetano, si Risa Ontiveros o si Francis Pangilinan. Pero karamihan sa kanila, as a matter of fact, si Risa mismo, ang gusto niya si Senator Lacson Gusto nila neutral. Siguro may feeling sila na hindi neutral. Kasi nga, tama yung sinasabi ng mga tao Bakit kayo nag-iimbestiga sa sarili nyo? Mali kasi mali ang direksyon ng committee. At dapat kasi in aid of legislation.
Sotto was also asked how he will handle the impeachment complaint against Vice President Sara Duterte, which is pending with the Supreme Court at the moment. Recall that at the opening of Congress, Sotto was the one who moved to table the motion to dismiss filed by Senator Marcoleta.
Ang mangyayari sa dyan, hintayin namin yung MR, yung motion for reconsideration, kung anong gagawin ng Supreme Court. Pag sinabi ng Supreme Court na magre-reverse sila, i-reverse, edi bubuhayin namin yung sa archive. Pag sinabi naman na hindi, I will just keep my fingers crossed na sana baguhin nila yung ilan sa mga provision na nilagay nila doon. Lalo na yung pag-aamenda ng Option 3 sa Article 11 of the Constitution. Huwag naman sanang i-retain na gano'n sapagkat wala na tayo ma-impeach. That's how I look at it as the new leader of the Senate.
Back at the House inquiry into anomalous flood control projects, Pacifico Curly Discayas was questioned about why his list of officials allegedly receiving kickbacks only covered 2022 onwards. This even though they claim to have been in business for 23 years and engaged with DPWH since 2016. House Infrastructure Committee Co-Chair Congressman Terry Ridon pointed out that the Discayas companies had won contracts under multiple administrations, including that of former President Rodrigo Duterte. He even traced operations back to the Aquino administration.
Sabi po ninyo kahapon, walang ledger kayong hawak sa listahan bago 2022. Wala hong naniniwala siya kasi ang yabang nyo nga ho, as far back as the Aquino administration, andun kayo sa top contractors po. Ibig sabihin, hindi ho maniniwala yung tao na the same modus operandi is not being implemented.
Mamamayang Liberal Party list representative Laila de Lima further grilled Discayas on his reluctance to name other officials involved, and she even dismissed the embattled contractor's request for an executive session. Here's an excerpt of that exchange.
Kung tanungin sa inyo, pwede ho bang bigyan niyo na po kami ng kumpleto na listahan? Kasi sa pagkakasabi niyo ilan sa kanila ay sina, alam niyo exactly kung ano pa o sino pa yung mga ibang sangkot na members of the House of Representatives. And nagtataka rin po ako at gusto ko rin pong itanong sa inyo, yun po bang mga hindi nyo pa mga pinangalanan dito, mga miyembro pa rin ng House of Representatives o miyembro na ng Senado?
Your Honor, I invoke po muna my rights po.
Ano po sabi nyo?
I invoke po muna my rights po.
Rights? Exactly what right?
Yung hindi pa po ako sigurado po sa mga dokumento po ng iba pong pwedeng mabanggit.
Hindi ko po maintindihan kung anong klaseng right sa batas ang ini-invoke ninyo. Yes?
Your Honor, kung okay lang po ba, nasa executive session ko na lang po sasabihin para sa kaligtasan din po ng pamilya ko at ako.
Hindi po ako papayag nun. Of course, that should be the
Meantime, Pasig City Mayor Vico Sotto, who is a former rival of Sara Discayas, disclosed tax deficiencies in at least 9 Discaya-owned companies and local violations.
Recently, they have been, Mr. Discaya has been recently convicted of 2 counts of building code violations. So medyo notorious po ito. Nagsimula sila sa LGU. Katunayan, flood control projects pa lang po ito. Hindi bababa sa 100 billion pesos ang total contracts po nila sa ating pamahalaan.
At the same hearing, DPWH Undersecretary Maria Cathy Cabral confirmed 51 billion pesos in infrastructure projects for Davao City's first district from 2020 to 2022. Ridon noted that this matched official records. Davao City First District Congressman Pulong Duterte welcomed the scrutiny but said questions about the budget were a diversion from flood control anomalies. He said Davao has nothing to hide. Investigate ghost projects if you want. Nandun ang katotohanan, mga proyektong nakikita na itayo at nagagamit ng mga tao sa Davao. The Discaya couple has of course been dropping names in a bid to turn witness and pleaded with the Senate for protection, saying they fear for their lives. The DOJ has said they need to return the money to the state first if they want immunity. Asked about it in Cambodia, President Marcos said he's open to it if they do qualify as witnesses.
Well, there is a system of the witness protection, and if they qualify as witnesses who will testify, then the state is of course willing to provide them with protection. Not because they are making allegations, not because they are part of the investigation, but because they're Filipinos. They need to be protected against any kind of threat that they are facing.
All right, at this point, let's bring in our second guest. We're talking to Akbayan Party List Congressman and Deputy Minority Leader, Congressman Diokno. Good evening, Congressman Diokno. Can you hear me okay?
Good evening, everyone that's listening and watching. Thank you for having me.
Medyo choppy po. Can we try that again? Can you hear me okay?
Yes, magandang gabi po sa lahat.
Perfect. Congressman, first off, your assessment of how today's hearing went. In particular, what did you think of the answers and the testimony of Pacifico Discaya?
You know, we have to be, I think, whenever we speak of witnesses, I don't think we can immediately be accepting of everything they say. Some witnesses could be telling the truth. Some witnesses could be selective in revealing what they know. And from what I've gathered, listening to Mr. Discaya speak in Senate and in the House, I'm hearing very selective answers from them.
In short, you're thinking there are a lot of inconsistencies?
I don't think it's only inconsistencies. I think that we have to dig much deeper into what they're saying. You know, it's very. I've been a lawyer for so long. In my experience, it's very hard to judge the credibility of a witness only by what they say, because witnesses, especially those who are implicated in criminal activity, they tend to be very selective in what they will reveal. And they also tend to have their own personal agenda. Now, for us to be able to judge how much of what they're saying is the truth, we have to look at corroboration. We have to see what can support what they're saying or what can contradict what they're saying.
He kept asking for an executive session, an idea to which si Congressman Laila de Lima was not amenable to. What's the sense over there in Congress why you don't want to go into executive session with Discaya?
In the first place, I think we are not convinced that he will be totally forthright. Of course, I cannot speak for the committee, and that matter has not yet been decided by the committee, but my own personal impression is that there's a lot, if they're really willing to tell the truth, then they should be willing to say it in front of everybody, in front of the public. After all, they have already named names in the Senate. So why not continue to name names if they're really out to reveal everything they know?
Well, Congressman, apart from Mr. Discaya, another point that struck me earlier in the hearing was when itong si District Engineer Henry Alcantara refused to sign that waiver of his bank secrecy as well as his cell phone records. How unusual is that, Congressman, and how should we read into that when a resource person refuses to sign documents like those?
If you put it in the context of where Mr. Alcantara is legally and what he's claiming, sabi niya malinis naman daw siya. Sabi niya ang may kasalanan daw yung mga nasa team niya. He said he merely relied on them, and he claimed also that he's never stolen any of the people's money. Then if he really is that clean, I really can only have to wonder why he doesn't want to sign a waiver of bank secrecy and also disclose the communications that he's made on his phone. Eh kung wala naman siya tinatago, bakit ayaw niyang i-disclose sa committee yan?
And at the same time, Congressman, you did challenge all the legislators na nalilink ng Discaya couple to also show their SALN and to sign waivers of bank secrecy. What can this uncover, Congressman?
It's always been my position, in consonance with the law, that all SALNs of high-ranking officials, that includes members of the Congress and the Senate, should make their SALNs available to the public. And especially when you have allegations of alleged involvement in corruption, all the more if these people want to clear their names. It's very simple. Waive your bank secrecy and show your SALN to the public. That will also restore confidence in the institutions of the House of Representatives and the Senate that, with all of these things that are happening, are being damaged in the eyes of the people.
The motion that you filed, Congressman, for the Infracom members to disclose their conflicts of interest, how's that going?
According to our chair of the Infracom, Kong Terry Ridon, the members of the committee submitted their disclosures, and of all of those who submitted disclosures denied having any financial pecuniary or business interest in what we're investigating. Yes.
Did you manage to get a hold of one of these disclosures yourself? I mean, were you asked to sign a disclosure?
Yes, I submitted a disclosure as well. What I am awaiting for, however, is the complete list of everyone who submitted, as well as the complete list of all the members of the three committees, so that we can find out who did not submit.
The bigger question there is what constitutes a conflict of interest, right? That's why I was asking, I'm wondering what the details of that disclosure are. Does it, for instance, restrict, up to the third or fourth degree of consanguinity or affinity in terms of disclosing your ties to potential, for instance, contractors, right? So it's, I think it's, do you have any details on that?
Yes, I think it's important that all members of the Congress and the Senate disclose whatever relationships they have with what we call the government contractors. So kung may kapatid sila, kung kapamilya nila yung may-ari ng government contracting company, kung sila mismo ay members of the board or dating members of the board, dapat alam ng publiko yan. And the reason why I say that is because the rules of the House itself prohibit members of any committees from participating in any deliberations where they have those kinds of relationships. And the principle behind it is very obvious. Kung involved ka sa isang kumpanya na iniimbestigahan ng Kongreso, siyempre dapat hindi ka kasali doon because your presence there itself could provide some measure of lack of transparency aside from your ability to influence or potentially influence an investigation.
So everyone has denied any conflict of interest at this point. Can I just confirm that everyone in the infrastructure, the 3 committees have submitted?
Everyone who submitted denied.
Okay.
What I'm waiting for is information if every single member of the committee did submit that disclosure. I'm still waiting for that information.
Okay.
Well, Congressman, following today's hearing, what are still some of the questions that you want answered? Who should be invited in the next committee hearing? And where do you see this investigation going?
First of all, I think that the members of the team that Mr. Alcantara was blaming, the people who said that he relied upon, should all be called to the next hearing. And I would want to know from them how they want to respond to the allegations that they were the one who mailed the false certification, they were the ones responsible for the Ghost Project and the other anomalous projects. That's one. But how the hearing is, how it's going, that's one of the problems when you have a body that is investigating itself, where there are members who are somehow or other named or mentioned in connection with the anomalies being investigated. In fact, just earlier this afternoon, I was one of those who filed a bill calling for an independent commission and giving it sufficient power to conduct a thorough investigation, including the power to see to it that the people are held accountable. The current investigations in the Senate and in the House are all only in aid of legislation. So they are not there for the purpose of holding people accountable. What we need is a commission that has the ability to get at the truth, and not just get at the truth, but put people behind bars. Because this is billions upon billions of people's money that's going into rich, cars, watches, casinos, and not to the places where it should be going, and not for the welfare of the people who deserve streets that are not flooded and who deserve to be able to go to work and go home without having to wade through feet of water.
It's actually President Marcos today announced that he's going to announce the members of the independent commission that he's creating within the next 48 hours. Already he's talked about giving it at least subpoena powers, potentially contempt powers as well. But what would you like to see, Congressman?
I think that commission should also have the ability or the power to provide what we call use immunity. Immunity for some witnesses who are willing to divulge their participation in exchange for telling the world who else are involved, especially the masterminds behind these kinds of nefarious activities. The commission should also have the power to recommend witness protection for those who are truly under threat, in addition to the subpoena and the contempt powers.
Okay, fantastic. We'll leave that there for now, but we thank you so much for your time and insights tonight. Congressman Chel Diokno, Deputy Minority Leader. In other news, the MVP Sports Foundation and Ayala Foundation have come together to support Philippine sports and nurture the next generation of athletes. The two foundations sealed the deal yesterday at an event led by MVPSF Chair Manny Pangilinan and Ayala Corp Chair Jaime Augusto Zobel de Ayala. Under the MOU, the two committed to strengthening grassroots training and collaborating on advocacy programs with government partners. The long-term goal is to create sustainable pathways for talent discovery and athlete development. The collaboration will debut at the Atletang Ayala World Pole Vault Challenge set for September 2021 in Makati City. The event is the pet project of champion pole vaulter EJ Obiena and will bring together the sport's best from around the world. Both Pangilinan and Ayala underscored the importance of making sports more accessible to Filipinos and nurturing them to produce more world-class athletes.
This is a sports-minded country, so it is a worthwhile endeavor. It's good to have as many legs supporting the sport, and I think part of it is our desire in our program to talk to other businesses to join us here in this effort.
And just one quick disclaimer that Story Signal, the parent of One News, is part of the MVP group.
Right, and before we go tonight, here is our big picture. Let's take a look at the UST main building, shining in green and maroon. These are the colors of the University of the Philippines during the inaugural Light of Hope show held in España on Monday, September 8th. The University of Santo Tomas is doing the light show for all UAAP schools, featuring their colors, chants, and hymns to mark the countdown to the UAAP season 88. So last night was UP, tonight is Adamson, September 11th through the 18th, or Ateneo, De La Salle, FEU, National University, UE, and the finale, of course, will be the host school, UST.
But all I could see was green, so does that mean La Salle is going to take it this year? I'm just kidding.
You're La Salle, right?
Yes.
UP ako.
Secret agenda. And that is the big story for tonight, Tuesday. Thanks for watching.
We are One News, all sides, all the time.
We're back tomorrow at 7:30. Catch us then.